Having the gains on paper for our then property was great and all, but it would never be useful unless we cashed it out. I think it's better to put yourself out there. Who dares wins, right? If you don't dare, you won't win. But working with you, it doesn't feel like a gamble.
Yeah.
It feels more of like an educated risk. It's not reckless. It's not unguided. It's definitely a lot more measured and a lot more systematic. Hi, my name is Keith. I'm in the legal profession.
All right, Keith, thanks for joining us today in today's session. Do you remember how we met?
Well, all I remember is that we went down to the 8 at BT showroom to look at the units, but apparently, according to my wife, I had been randomly clicking on Facebook ads, and then I suddenly got a message from you on WhatsApp to ask me whether I was interested to look at new developments. So I think that's where it started.
So at AIBT kind of like viewing, right, innocently from a show flat viewing turned out to be a Armageddon of a portfolio review, right? Can you maybe just share with the audience how was that process like for you?
We never really gave it much thought as to like upgrading our portfolio or anything like that. But I think once we met you and you kind of like asked us certain questions, we were ready to upgrade. It's just that we hadn't thought about it yet.
If you just recall, what was the main kind of trigger points that actually kind of motivated you and your family to did whatever you did?
I think it was when you mentioned to us that having the gains on paper for our then property was great and all, but it would never be useful unless we cashed it out. I think that was the catalyst for me, that dawning of the realization that it's good to have a property that has appreciated on paper, but it's even better to convert that appreciation into cash.
Was your property portfolio objectives-wise more for an own stay or investment need? And do you feel like me as a consultant actually accurately capture your family's needs more than the product itself?
It never really occurred to us that there was this world of using the property to leverage and then unlock further dividends down the road. I mean, all credit to Jared. He really unlocked a lot of fears for us in terms of setting us free from those fears and doing all the legwork, all the heavy lifting for us in terms of figuring out what the financials should be like, how much loan should we be taking in order to move on to the next property. I think had we not had that kind of guidance, there would have been a lot more dread, a lot more fear than having somebody who basically paved the road for us and just tell us, hey guys, this is what you need to do.
A little bit of background is that Keith and family, they have actually upgraded their portfolio all the way back then since 2021. Their portfolio was about 1.2 mil. Coming 3-4 years later on today, this portfolio has grew significantly to a 2.7 mil. That's easily more than double in terms of the property growth. Next question is, what do you think your next steps are?
I think it's definitely given us a lot more sense of security. Singapore is an expensive place. It's not getting any easier to, improve your portfolio and to buy properties in Singapore. And I think us taking that big leap of faith to buy into the market with all the background information and all the homework that Jared was helping us do in the background really gave us a lot more confidence to take that big step.
But what do you think is the single biggest mindset shift you have in terms of the property market or working with him?
After dealing with Jared and hearing him give us advice that's very sound, very grounded in reality, I think it's better to put yourself out there. Who dares wins, right? If you don't dare, you won't win. But working with you, it doesn't feel like a gamble. It feels more of like an educated risk. The main takeaway I have from working with Jared is it's not reckless, it's not unguided, it's definitely a lot more measured and a lot more systematic.
In you and your family's opinion, what are the kind of people would you recommend for me to work with them?
I think people in the sort of the same age group as me, I think Jared understands us best because he is in the same situation as people like me. So he understands the concerns, the issues, he understands what the objectives and the goals are, and he doesn't want anybody to take unnecessary risks because we've got families to care for. Jared helps to balance that wanting of growth versus the security. Jared has a very personal touch. We would say he's quite a steady guy. He was always there for the viewings. He made sure that when he was helping us sell our previous property, he always made sure everything was running smoothly, the viewers were happy, and that we were happy showing off the place. Really, it was a very personal touch which I appreciated.
Thank you so much to you and your family also for making the viewing experience great for the prospective buyers as well.
You're welcome.